Hello, happy crafters! I am back with a bunch of new Christmas crafts for your decorating for 2023. I have a whole bunch of easy crafts for you to do, even though we're getting a lot closer to Christmas. That's okay, you've got plenty of time to make all of these crafts, and I hope you really enjoy them.
It all just goes away. The things I plan to say. Oh, baby.
All right, for our first craft, we are going to make some spoons filled with frosting. And I got these spoons on Amazon. They're just wooden spoons. Aren't they cute? And what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and stain them first using some Folk Art dark wax. Now this stuff works really good for staining, but if you wanted to have, say, white spoons, you could do that as well, or any color really. You could just water down the paint and then do the same process that I'm doing to get different colored spoons. And I will have to do that in an upcoming video because I have so many of these spoons, I'm gonna have to play around with them. But once I've got the wax onto the spoon, then I just wipe it off. Just like that. And here are my spoons all dried, and I'm going to be using these faux sprinkles. I got these on Amazon. And also these pre-done bows and some puffy paint, some puffy white paint. Now this puffy white paint I got on Amazon, but you can find it at the Dollar Tree, and I have used it and it works really well. But I'm just going to fill in the spoon with the frosting or my puffy paint. And what's fun with this puffy paint is it does give some texture to whatever you are using it on. And then I'm going to take some of those faux sprinkles and I'm going to put those on top of that frosting or puffy paint. And then I'm just going to repeat the process with the remaining spoons that I've already stained. And once the spoons were dry, I took my hot glue gun and then I took the bows and I attached a bow to each of the spoons. I like these bows because they're already pre-tied and they're pretty much uniform in shape and dimension. Not something I could do myself, so that was why I opted to buy the pre-done bows. And here is the finished project, a bunch of wooden spoons with frosting on them sitting on my tiered tray in my kitchen. They turned out so cute, and I just put them into a tiny little red mug that I got at Hobby Lobby, of course when it was on sale. And I think it's an excellent addition to my tiered tray. And I'm sure you've seen this before, but I'm gonna make some hot cocoa shooter cups. These are so much fun. So I just took some of these little parfait cups from the Dollar Tree and I'm going to put in some brown paint. Now, depending on what kind of flavor of drink you want, you can change this up. But I want my little parfait cups to look like hot cocoa. So I'm using brown paint and I'm just going to brush that paint on the inside of the cup. Now it does take a couple of layers of paint to make sure you have everything covered and coated evenly. But by painting the inside of the plastic parfait cup, then you still have the shine from the plastic on the outside. This is why I like to do it this way. And once my parfait cups were dry, I took a piece of cardboard and I just traced around the top of the cup. This is going to fit down inside the cup so I can have a place for my whipped cream to start without filling up the entire parfait cup. That would be a waste of material. Then I just used a Cricut tool just to push this down in and make sure I have it the right size for the cup. And then using the same brown paint and using my Cricut tool, I just painted all surfaces of that little cardboard disc. And once my discs were dry, then it was safe to push them down into the parfait cups. And I just pushed them down so that they were even with where the brown paint was. And I left a portion of the parfait cups clear because I want to see the whipped cream inside the cup as well. And I'm going to be using some lightweight spackle for the whipped cream. So even though this was a little bit dried out, that's okay because I'm going to add in a little bit of white paint to really make this really bright white. So I'm just putting the spackling into a little cup. And then I'm just going to mix everything together. Like I said, I did put a little bit of acrylic white paint into this spackle mixture to make it a little bit smoother. The more you add to it, the more runny your spackle is going to be. So just do a little bit if you're going to be doing this project. And once I was happy with my whipped cream, I put it into a piping bag. And I don't remember which frosting tip I had on this piping bag, but I just piped the whipped cream, or the spackle, onto the top of each of my parfait cups. Like that. And those little cardboard discs really do make a difference because you don't have to use a lot of the spackling material. You're just filling up wherever the cup is clear. Then I'm going to top it off with some faux sprinkles again. And the spackling is not quite as sticky as the puffy paint, so I did use a tweezers to kind of help the process out. And next I took some paper straws that are in Christmas colors, and I cut them shorter and then pushed them down into the whipped cream. And if you don't have the faux sprinkles, you can use cinnamon too. That makes a really great garnish for these little hot cocoa cups. I did have some iridescent glitter, so I put that on top too because I really like the sparkly glitter look for the holiday season. And here are my cute little hot cocoa shooters. Oh my goodness, I think they're so cute. I made some little treats too, but the hot cocoa shooters are very easy to make and so adorable on a tiered tray. So now I'm going to make a pom-pom wreath, and you can do this on your own, but I find it's a lot easier to make a lot of pom-poms using this product. Now this is a pom-pom maker, and I believe it's by Tulip. And all you have to do is wrap the yarn around each side. You really wrap a lot of yarn. And then you repeat the process on the other side. So you're going to have a bunch of yarn that you've wrapped around those two sides of this little pom-pom maker. Then all you have to do is cut off a piece of yarn. And then using a tiny and very sharp scissors, you just cut through that channel on each of the sides that you wrapped all of the yarn around. Now, like I said, if you want to use like a piece of cardboard to make your pom-poms, you can. But for this project, I'm going to be using a lot of pom-poms. And so what I did was just do a few pom-poms a day until I had all of the pom-poms that I needed for my project. And this little pom-pom maker makes that process a lot easier. I actually have a video showing you the entire process step by step. These are the different sizes that come in the pom-pom maker kit. And here are all of my pom-poms. Holy moly, that's a lot of pom-poms. And this is a Dollar Tree wreath frame. And what I'm gonna do is just tie those pom-poms to the wreath frame. And I'm going to tie the pom-poms to all 3 rings. So each ring, there's 3 rings, is going to be covered in pom-poms. And at one time, Anthropologie did make a pom-pom wreath like this. I think they had different colors though, and it was really, really expensive. I believe I was able to make this pom-pom wreath for less than $20. And I started on the innermost ring first and just worked my way around with the larger pom-poms. And then I went to the second circle or the second wire ring. And every once in a while I would flip it over just to see how my wreath was taking shape. And as I got closer to the end, it got a little tight pushing in the pom-poms, but the end result is definitely worth it. I used the larger and the medium-sized pom-pom maker for most of the pom-poms, and then I did a few smaller ones so that those are going to show up on the top. Now I am just kind of pushing all of the pom-poms down, and I wanted to have a way to hang up my pom-poms, so then I just made a little hanger out of some yarn. I just flipped it around on itself, and that hanger was a little bit longer than I wanted it to be, so I just knotted it again a little bit shorter. So I'll still have a nice size wreath hanger, but it won't be so long, so it'll hang closer to my hook. And once I had the wreath hanger done, then I wanted to secure the back of the wreath because I don't want the pom-poms moving around as much. So I just had this fabric that was like remnants from another project, and I'm going to secure that fabric all the way around the wreath form. This will keep the pom-poms towards the front of the wreath and not flipping towards the back. And I just had the fabric overlay a little bit on the prior piece that I had glued down. And that is it. And here is my adorable snowball pom-pom holiday wreath that's hanging on my door. Now this is an easy project, and I don't know if you've seen people do this, but I have these cones, and then I also have this yarn that was on clearance at Hobby Lobby for $1.62. I was like, holy cow, that's a good deal. So this is like an eyelash type yarn, and I'm going to make some yarn Christmas trees. This is such an easy project, but it makes like instant decor for the holidays. And I really like the iridescence to this yarn. This yarn is really pretty, even though it's very fine. You can see as I'm wrapping it around the Christmas tree, it's pretty fine, and it's gonna take a lot of yarn to get that cone wrapped. So I don't wanna see the cone, so I'm just overwrapping the entire cone with that yarn. If you've made it this far into the video, thank you so much for watching. I would love it if you would consider subscribing to my channel. Just click that subscribe button, and if you click the bell notification right next to the subscribe button, you'll get an alert every time I have a new video coming out. This yarn was so easy to work with, and I think because of the color, it worked really well on the white cone. I started at the top, and then I worked my way up and down, back and forth, all around this cone. But once I got to the end of it, I did it at the bottom. So I made sure to secure the bottom or the base of the tree very, very well with the hot glue, so you can't see the cone underneath my tree. Now I wanted to show you, this is how much yarn I had left over after doing these 3 Christmas trees. I think they are so pretty, and I really enjoy Christmas trees in my decorating, and I really like it when it's an easy project. Oh my goodness, you guys, this project is so easy. So I had a spare piece of wood that I wasn't using for anything. I painted it red, and then I found these Christmas ornaments. I believe these came from Hobby Lobby, and they're just wood, and it says a very merry, holly jolly Christmas. And I thought, you know what, that would be really pretty on my tiered tray. So I just took one of those ornaments and I painted the front of it white. The sides have like a darker color around the sides and in between the lettering. So I just painted the front white and fit it to my painted block. Next, I used Dollar Tree wood glue on the back of the ornament, and I took just a little bit of wood glue here and there. I didn't coat the entire thing because this glue is pretty strong, and I just need to have it lay on the front of the block. So just randomly, I put little drops of glue onto the back of the ornament. And then I just secured it in place on the wood block. Look at how cute that is. And this makes an adorable little block saying for a tiered tray. That was what I made it for, was my tiered tray. I really like how it turned out, and it was so simple to make. Now this is another really easy project. All you need is a horseshoe and some little adornments. So this ribbon came from Hobby Lobby. The horseshoe I actually got at a country supply store. I think it was the Big R. And I just wrapped that ribbon around one side of the horseshoe. And then I flipped it over and secured the ribbon in place. Now I did not cut the ribbon. If you're doing this, don't cut the ribbon, because that ribbon is going to be your hanger, and then it's going to go to the other side of the horseshoe. And then I just had a little bit in the center, and then I secured the ribbon in place on the other side of the horseshoe. And then I used some little leaves just to secure the ribbon in place. Then this gets a little bit tricky of wrapping the ribbon around the horseshoe, because it's just not as fast as the first side, but the end result is totally worth it. And once I had enough ribbon to match the first side, then I just hot glued that ribbon in place on the back of the horseshoe. And once that hot glue was dry, I just took some faux greenery and attached it to the middle bottom of the horseshoe. Then I took some glittery snowflake ornament pieces and I just added a little bit of adornment to the greenery. Then I got these tiny little jingle bells, and I just glued a whole bunch of jingle bells right in the center. Now, if you wanted to, you could do like a bow or holly berries or something like that, but I wanted the jingle bells, so that was what I used. How cute is this door hanger? Oh my goodness. I love horses, and I love rustic country type decor pieces, and I think this will fit in perfectly in my home. All right, now I got this print on Temu. It's a printed canvas, and if you've ever gotten these on Temu, they're very hard to hang up. So I had these Dollar Tree like shelf sitter signs, and I thought, you know what, I'm going to try and make a frame using these shelf sitters so I can actually use my pretty Christmas print. So I laid the canvas, the picture side down, and then I measured off with the shelf signs for the bottom and the top because they were too long. Next, I cut the wood, so I have some little remnant pieces. I could probably make some little blocks for my tiered tray with those, and then measured off the signage. So next, I took some Dollar Tree wood glue and some large craft sticks, and I secured the large craft sticks to the back of these signs. Now, the plain part of the sign is going to be on the front or facing out, and the printed side is going on the back. That way, I don't have to worry that those words are going to show through. This is an easy way to make a frame if you, like me, buy these canvases from Temu. And once my wood glue had dried, I flipped the sign over and I took some white chalk paint and I painted the frame. Now that is a really nice frame. I could see all kinds of projects coming up with frames like this. And once the frame was dry, I took more Dollar Tree wood glue and put a big bead all the way around the frame. Then I used a foam brush and I just spread that glue out. And then I brought my canvas and attached it to the front of the frame. And I didn't want it to slip while it was drying, so I got some heavier pieces and I put all around the top just to keep everything in place how it was while it was drying. And while it was drying, I took some Mod Podge that has some sparkly glitter in it, and I just added some sparkly glitter accents to my canvas. Now what's nice with the Mod Podge is it gives a little bit of an elevated look and it will not stay white. It actually dries clear. It's really hard to see the glitter that's in here because it's very fine, but I do have to say it does give a little bit of something extra. And here is my Christmas print in my bedroom. Oh my goodness, I love the way this turned out. This was an easy way to make an elevated art piece specifically for the holiday season. All right, now this project, I wanted to have a candle holder for my dining room table. And I saw one on Pottery Barn, but it was like $180. Right now they're on sale for $131, but that's too much. So my husband helped me, and we took some remnant pieces because he had just finished a project, and he made me a little tray. It was very easy for me to do because he was the one doing it. But we used that Dollar Tree wood glue to secure the pieces together, and then we did use a nail gun to make sure everything was going to stay secure. But so far my project hasn't cost me anything because these were just remnant pieces that were scrap. And after it was assembled and sanded smooth, I brought it back into my craft room, and then I used some stain and just stained the entire tray. I did the top, the sides, the back, the bottom, every part of this wood I used the stain with, and then just wiped away the excess. And if there wasn't enough color, then I did go back, like here on the bottom, and I just added a little bit more stain and wiped away the excess. I think that looks pretty good. Then I needed to make some handles. So I had this PVC stuff. It really is very similar to like a foam air dry clay. So I just pushed this stuff out and I made a couple of handles because the Pottery Barn version does have metal handles, and I really wanted to make this look like it was from Pottery Barn. Now my little Dollar Tree cutter wasn't working the greatest, but that's okay. It was $1.25, so not a big deal. But I was able to cut off 2 pieces of this PVC foamy stuff. And then I just stretched it out a little bit to make it a little bit thinner, and I want to make sure that they're equal. So I cut the ends off with scissors and then allowed it to dry. Now for this next part, I'm going to be using my cute little chop saw. Isn't this thing awesome? So cute. I love this for my craft room. It works so well for little tiny pieces of wood. And I didn't have any wooden dowels, but I did have these foam paint brushes, and these are the perfect size dowel for my project. So I just measured off the dowels at 2 inches. Now by measuring it at 2 inches, I'm actually going to be able to get 2 dowel pieces from these little foam paint brushes. So I just marked off with my pen at 2 inches. Then I secured the foam paint brush, the dowel side, into my chop saw. Push the button in the handle, and then I have my piece. Now, if you work a lot in your craft room, I would highly encourage you to check this little chop saw out. It works fantastic and it's super small. For the second piece, I just had to cut off the foam paintbrush part. And then I have an extra piece. So once I had all of the dowels cut out, then I used that same stain that I stained the tray with, and I just dipped those little dowel pieces into the stain, and then I removed them using a tweezers. Then using a paper towel, I just wiped off the excess stain. Now to make the candle cups, I'm going to be using these votive holders from the Dollar Tree. They come in a pack of 4. This is a fantastic deal, and this is pretty close to what the Pottery Barn version of this little votive holder looks like. I got out all of my candle holders, then using some Dollar Tree super glue that's kind of like E6000, I just secured those little dowels onto the bottom of my candle holders. Now I did let those dry completely, and then using that Dollar Tree glue again, I put a drop of glue on each of the other end of the dowel. Then I flipped it over and secured it to the bottom of the tray. So this is going to rise these little votive holders off of the bottom of the tray. Then my foam handles had dried, so I used some metallic bronze paint from Folk Art, and I just painted the handles with this metallic paint. It looks really pretty and it looks like it's aged metal. I am so impressed with this paint. It really does look like metal. It does not look like it's PVC foam. And once my handles were dry, I attached them to the tray. And once they were dry, this is the project on my dining room table. I really like the elevated look of those candle holders. So pretty, but there's a reason they're elevated. And this is the reason they're elevated. You can put in different stuff into the bottom of the tray. So I put in some pine cones and some holly berries. And now this adorable little project is done. All right, that is it for my Christmas crafting this video. Be sure to subscribe and check out my channel because I still have Christmas crafts to share with you.